All right, welcome in, folks. As I said, quick break. You know how it can be from time to time. If you were watching the game yesterday, maybe here on the B stream. First of all, thanks very much. Second of all, I hope you're doing okay. And third of all, you'll know it was quite a difficult time getting into the server at the very least. And then once we were there, it was kind of crazy. Ancient starting to become a map that a lot of teams are approaching now, and proving some pretty exciting Counter-Strike. Can't really give you a general idea for it, though, because we are straight into the action. Jocko going to find the first head. He is flashed and gooched out of action. That'll be the B bomb site secured. It's still even. There is still clearing towards that cave area, but the bomb's gone down, and things are looking good for Anonymo.
Yeah, and they still have that dark control, but with so many Anonymo players still alive, they're stacked up here towards this banana side, the ramp side. There's 3 players peeking in. 2 frags immediately go the way, though, of Double Pony. It's just Kyler and Rallum remaining. They have got good positioning. The bomb is planted well for them. Kyler finds 2 kills somehow for that long spot. The body looking a little bit too strong. So Anonymo, they got the opening pick. They got a lot of map control, but the retake was just a little bit too strong from the Frenchman.
Yeah, indeed. I think certainly if you're confident in it, and it looked like they were playing a little bit more of a retake setup, it can, I think, the speed that players are going to approach it at this particular level, for me, I think, indeed can result in some pretty convincing retakes. But I don't know if anyone, I'm sure a lot of people caught the NIP Copenhagen Flames Ancient. The retakes on that from NIP were pretty damn solid throughout, so we'll have to see whether Double Pony have picked up a trick or two.
I think from both teams, the retakes were solid, and equally the afterplants not played perfectly. But that's how Ancient goes. T-side afterplants on this map are an absolute pig. They are so difficult to play. And actually, Double Pony here, they've gone for a wall of smokes. And there's a reason, Squiv, we don't see the wall of smokes very much on this bomb site, because it's really, really difficult to get a bomb plant. You can see how they've actually isolated themselves out of the bomb site. Somehow have ended up in a scenario where the T's have temple control. They're behind Lucky. He gets caught out in the open. I don't think Double Pony expected so many players to be pushed already in towards temple with these smokes down and so few nades remaining, unless Snatchy up close can do damage. It's going to be tricky, and he can't. So, I don't know, Scrib. I feel that was a pretty good case in point of why you don't smoke like that on the A bomb site, because it's just so hard to get that plant.
Yeah, pretty difficult stuff, but run of the mill at the moment for Double Pony, looking fairly confident out of the gate. And it could be a problem, you know. Anonymo working on things. Ancient at the moment would feel like one of the better maps, I think, to get under your belt, just because of how popular it is, and the fact that it's still young enough, I think, that maybe you can innovate, maybe you can come up with your own ideas. At the moment, though, as I've said, Double Pony, very, very oppressive, even in this round. Yes, they're only against the pistols, but making it look all too easy.
Yeah, I think it's actually pretty crazy how few teams ban Ancient. And if you look at other maps that have come into the map pool that, you know, of course there's, you know, redoing Inferno or redoing Dust 2, they're going to get played immediately. There's no question about it. But when you're bringing in new maps, and you're bringing in a Vertigo, when you're bringing in an Ancient now, it used to be the case that a lot of teams would just ban it for 3 or 4 months. They wouldn't play it at all. And they'd shy away so much. But for some reason, Ancient immediately has been picked up. I can't think of a team, Scrib, off the top of my head, that bans Ancient, at least at the level Endpoint plays. I don't remember the last time Ancient got banned away from us. So it's really bizarre, and actually, in series, it's so often the third map I find these days. So, Double Pony, as you said, if you're good on Ancient, you're going to get it a lot of times. So, hopefully, they keep this up and show us why they're a strong Ancient team. Aggressively, though, Jocko and Lucky in towards this cheated position. We're going to molly out. No aggressive swing for the moment, but it looks like the aggression is on the cards now. Flash comes over from the connector side. A lot of dueling on this B-bomb site, and Afro, he's going to open that one up onto Innocent.
Really solid stuff. A great little angle, that it looks like Innocent really was not prepared for. Awkward spamming here in towards Cheetah. Jocko kind of baited in by it. I think that was maybe the idea, the smoke that I would imagine he had thrown on the entrance there. Not that great. So he ends up going down. There's a lot of damage that's been done to the T side. Still kind of curious to see what the movements would be. Nade just on the wrong side of the box. The boost coming in at this point. That, I think, will be very, very familiar to these CT players. We've got some mid-aggression at the perfect time, dropping snacks and essentially locking these players into their B push.
Yeah, indeed. Just losing so many numbers as well, and the information on top of it. What can these remaining Anonymo players do? And unless these double Poney players get over eager and give up frags, it seems near on impossible. They are getting aggressive. Kylar drops the first. Body's still peeking out from this cheetah side. And that was a very important frag. Time running low. Snatchy's just going to hold on to that AWP. If he can do so after time, he gets a second frag. I don't think Matt End is going to get an opportunity. So it's going to be 4-0 for double Poney. Anonymo now have a really difficult buy decision. I think they will buy around it, considering they saved the AWP. So perfect start, I guess, for double Poney on their opponent's map pick.
Something worth noting, again, you know, people watching might have picked up on it, but I think with the action being so fast, and of course, we got in pretty quickly. And also, to be frank, my mic's kind of in the way of the left-hand side of the screen, so maybe a bit of a poor setup for me. But yeah, Matten's playing instead of Exercise here. So that is something to consider. At the moment, it doesn't really look to have changed the double Poney game plan, confidence, and all that good stuff. I think they have actually had a fair amount of experience with their coach standing in. What with NBK coming and going, Exercise was a stand-in, and then he played as a bit more of an extended stand-in, and then they finally signed him, you know. Although I am very curious to know how that kind of thing works when you don't necessarily have any contracts involved because they're not part of an organization. Would be an interesting conversation with Body, I'm sure. But either way, keep an eye on it and keep an eye on him. Usually performs quite well, I would say, as far as coaches go. So,
yeah, he is an ex-player, so
yeah, exactly.
You'd kind of expect that. Actually, on HOTV, it does say it's Exercise, so we'll shelve that thought for a moment. There's a lot of trades coming out. Double Poney again coming out on top. They're finding so many frags on this B bomb site, just playing the angles. And now as Kylar, the flash comes over. It's just perfect squib, and right now, Double Poney, they can't put a foot wrong.
No, not at all. I mean, getting the opening picks, even when, as you mentioned, it comes into the B play that did actually look a little difficult and a little dangerous, I think it's safe to say, on the side of double Poney. You know, Anonymo with some nice moves in towards B, but it's just not quite enough. The trades are there, and like I said, they're the proactive team, finding the first kill pretty often, particularly with the big man Afro, as we've mentioned, and pointed some fingers towards him as being the one to watch on this team. But as it is, there's a little more attention on Body, it would seem. And I don't know, maybe there's an interesting conversation to be had around that, because players like Carrigan, for example, have been really, really good on this map. And I think, you know, your in-game leader and the logic there, in a sense, maybe because I think positioning is quite important on this map. Maybe a point we'll have to come back to again, because we're 25 seconds into the round, and Innocent is going to clap out 2 heads, going for the aggressive play, not really thinking too much about it on the Anonymo side of things, just brute forcing their way in. And it's come close. However, through the smoke down goes Kylar. That's a pretty big one. You know what I'm going to say, right? Snacks is left on low HP. Quick dink onto Matten, so it's very hard to call. They've also got some control on A. The bomb rotating back around. Another crazy and hard to keep up with round here. I'd say the wildest one that we've had so far is Anonymo just trying to throw things at the wall and see what sticks. Of course, that usually has, again, a word we can't say on broadcast. But I think you get the point.
And there you have it. I believe that was a 5-on-4 with full B site control in that situation. And Anonymo, the best openings of the half. It might be, no, it was a 4-on-3, wasn't it? Because Innocent got this double 2k entry before going down to the Flames. So they had a really clean 4-on-3. They had full B site control, and they just got span through the smokes. The bomb took ages to come over, and then you had that weird scenario where the bomb was running back because Snacks had taken ground on A. So a really messy round from Anonymo, potentially not surprising for a brand new lineup to be making what looks like communication and coordination errors overall. So it's going to be another half buy for Anonymo, still yet to get off the board. And I guess the only saving grace is that they are keeping this double pony money reasonably low, but what's it going to matter at this point? They need to be getting gun rounds, and they need to be chaining together at this point and forcing some ecos, because this is not as CT side of the map as it used to be.
Indeed. I think the game is maybe starting to swing towards that CT side, what with the A1S being pretty difficult, spams through smokes and things like that, hard to follow. But structurally, obviously you've had a few changes, but also just kind of preference and getting used to the map. Lucky in between two smokes, and well, it pays off. That's the freest kill of the game so far. I'll try and take him down, but he's able to dip back in. Fake coming through, I suppose, from Kylar, maybe to bait some nades, just changing his spot, though, to try and get a bit of a proactive move coming in. Posted up on the angle, Flash going to come out here, but Kylar still, indeed, as I say, posted up. Will be ready for these fights. Can't quite land it, though, and the Deagle, I was going to say failing him, but no. Gets the head of Lucky. A lot of low HP bars. Great flash over the top from Exercise as Jocko will push in. That should be all she wrote, what with a kit holding the bomb here. Maybe not, though, because it's planted nice and open. Innocent with the spam, able to get one. The second as well.
Oh, my God.
Oh, goodness gracious. It's set up for Ral, and he can't quite get it done. Certainly the closest round we've had all game, though.
Oh, my God. That was so close, and until I think it went 4-on-2, super clean retake so far from Double Pony, and I was already preparing myself to say that the retakes from the Frenchmen have looked absolutely on point, but I guess from that perspective, what can you do about a Deagle just spamming perfectly through the smoke? It seemed to know exactly where that bomb was being stuck. So good damage again from Anonymo, as we said. That CT side money is being kept pretty well in check thus far. So Anonymo, I'm guessing this is their tac pause coming in to talk through this next gun round. Going to be an important gun round as well. So Anonymo, it's been hit B without fail every round so far. Maybe it's time now, Scrib, for them to change it up.
One would think. I think certainly need to come up with something a little bit different, especially because you've been picking this map. You would hope that the T side, at the very least, you've got core fundamental ideas down. It's not like the executes in terms of what you need to know nade-wise and whatnot is all that complicated. It is, as you've kind of mentioned, I think calming when everything is very quick, very panicked. Need to keep things clear. And also the early round, especially in this game, is where they are suffering quite a bit. Now, they will find the first kill, yes. However, Snacks is on 8 HP, and then you've got 3 players kind of with a straight format of HP for any poker players out there. The 65, 67, and 68, right? So it indeed is a man advantage, but Anonymo can't really make too many mistakes from here on in, because it could very quickly, one well-timed push or well-timed spray down is what I was going to say, could result in a couple of kills. It's actually going to be Afro to push forward, dropping Snatchy, which is probably one of the better players that you want to be finding, because again, the HP is a real issue. Into Afro they go as he rotates back around. Now 11-3. Oh, it's close. It is close. Maybe in a future round we'll see him get one of those. Jocko, meanwhile, not really smoked out. Beautiful stuff with the pre-fire here. And he will get himself 3 very crisp, very clean kills.
Yeah, I think there's 2 big takeaways from how that one played out. One is how slow and hesitant Double Pony and Anonymo are playing. They get the entry frag, they're already grouped on B, but it takes so long that they get pushed from Cheetah, they lose numbers, and then they're stalled out hitting the bomb site. And then equally, on the in terms of the other aspect, is that they are so predictable right now with hitting B that Double Pony will just lean that way all day long. If they go man down, why wouldn't you just play 3B and essentially retake A? So Anonymo getting read like a book, and they're falling apart quite heavily in these kind of tight late round scenarios. The communication, to me, Scriv, looks pretty lackluster at the moment.
I think so. There are a few issues here for sure that are on the surface. I think maybe doesn't even need us to point them out. You know what I mean? As a general viewer, if you watch a lot of Counter-Strike, play a lot of Counter-Strike, you can probably feel the not necessarily tension, but the stakes that keep occurring. Snacks, for example, way further ahead the rest of the team, so there's no real chance to get him traded there, and they have to go searching for the AWP or body. He should have got 2 there, but only manages to grab 1. All the same, it's still a 4-on-3. 9-0 on the cards, 9-0 looking good. They've gone for the A play. She managed to get the bomb down, which is somewhat of a rarity over on B these days. Afro, though, continuing to frag out. Jocko tagged down low, but just take your time. Maten's here with the other AWP. It's Afro chiming in with his own. Will go down, but they're all good. And now, apparently, he's exercise. Okay. Not quite sure what the deal is there, but there you are.
Yeah, I wasn't sure because on HOTV it still claims to be exercise. So, listen, if that is Matt End, he's putting in some good performances. Let's put it that way. And pretty snappy so far. But again, Scriv, the big conversation really at the moment, especially off the back of the Copenhagen Flames games, is how many of these situations on Ancient go into afterplant scenarios and how hard they are to play on the T side. And A site afterplants on this map, if you don't have any map control in towards that connected donut area or in towards Temple, they are a nightmare. There's so many positions you get faced from, and actually for the first round in a while, Double Pony, they found the entry frags, and considering that Anonymo have had issues when they've been in the man advantage, it's really starting to fall apart now. Anonymo had their chances in a few gun rounds so far. They've had some tight afterplants, but I think they're starting to crumble. This is getting really out of control.
I think we've said it quite a bit while watching and casting Counter-Strike. When you get to a scoreline that's kind of 7 in a row, that can ultimately be the map. So you really need a big turnaround. Now we're at 9-0, with also very little contest. The closest round that we've had was with pistols, and there was a bit of RNG in that. So that makes it very hard to replicate, very hard for, you know, the likes of Snacks and Ral and some of the more experienced players here to say, right, that worked really well. Let's try and do it again, but maybe tweak it slightly. And, you know, you can't have, I think it was Innocent, spam deagles through smoke and expect it to work like it did the previous time. So very, very difficult here for Anonymo, I think, to find something indeed that is going to work out for them. But we're on the pistols again, so who knows? Pushing in will be body. Manages to find the first, though.
Yes, indeed. It still feels, though, even economic damage here is such a tiny crumb of comfort, and realistically, we've got so few rounds left in the half. Even getting them onto the eco is not going to help so much with the round haul. Body still putting in work. He's at 14-3. Afro's at 15-4. Jocko's at now 13-5. I think that speaks volumes about, you know, irrespective of the strategic side of the game, just individually, Anonymo not really in the game at the moment. A lot of team play issues, and it looks like they're set for very little damage on this round. Tucked in the corner is Snacks. That's going to be 5 alive for Double Pony. Again, the money is not a big deal, but the confidence is going to be down the drain for the Polish squad, and I think they need to start chaining some pauses. If they can't get 2-3 rounds, this is almost certainly GG here on the first map, their map pick of Ancient.
Yeah, which is not really a good sign, to be honest with you. Sure, they have a little bit more statistical comfort, you could say, on Inferno, which is our next map, but Double Pony have picked it for a reason. Perhaps a little bit of head-to-head knowledge there, scrim knowledge, that kind of thing. Oof. Nice find from Snatchy, though. Some early aggression from Anonymo that finally works out. They are taking the pace, taking the control away from Double Pony in this round, and finding themselves a couple of kills off the back of it. Now, Mr. Body's still alive, and he is winning a lot of 1v1s, forcing them, but winning them. So you still got to watch out for that. Afro with his AWP on the other side of things, now rotating across. Body to watch A, but they're pretty sold on it being a B hit. 2 AWPs here, ready and waiting. Going to be interesting. Nice angle in from Exercise, which I think we'll go with. Nonetheless, 3 versus 3. One player lurking out at A, going to think maybe he is safe.
All the timing.
Oh, it is a bit awkward. I think they've just spotted each other, though, it looks like on the minimap. You can kind of see from the body language of Kylar that he is ready for the fight, and he wins it. That'll call for the bomb, and now, of course, 2 AWPs on the retake. Never ideal.
Well, they have the money to at least sit around and see if these T-side players overface Afro. He's decided he's not going to sit back. Oh, it's millisecond earlier, and he would have had the opportunity at taking down the player outright. Excise drops the first. The second is in there with him, poking around, and that's a huge frag from Kyler as Anonymo finally get off the board. A reasonably clean round. A little bit scary here in the retake. They get it over the line, so it's nice to see them at least picking up a soul round, but that's not going to be enough, Scriv. They've got to start chaining them together, and realistically on a map like Ancient, surely it's got to be 3 rounds, so it's still do or die here. They have to keep this chain of rounds, chaining success going.
Yeah, we do have, of course, the ever-famous 11-4, right? I think people know how that kind of goes at this point, but getting there is still going to be hard. So, we'll see. Can see, though, very quickly, the confidence has been knocked by... Ooh. Anonymo, Double Pony, not quite as aggressive, not quite as just swinging in. Trying to go for some back pocket stuff, like the boosts. We also saw one from the players in the middle. Oh, yep, there it is. Kylar comes in from behind. I thought it dissipated. The smoke was kind of in the way for me. Nonetheless, it fails miserably. As 2 players fall for Double Pony, and you'd kind of argue, especially with the CT side, the money that they don't have, that maybe you choose to stack a bomb site, save if they go to the other one.
Indeed. I'm very surprised that Anonymo didn't immediately commit there on towards A with those 2 frags. And I think they're starting to pay the price. They've turned back towards B. Double Pony have made the right guess. They start the right bomb site. They've got all 3 over. Jocko, though, is starting to go for an information play. See his teammates, they're rotating off. They don't think it's B. They spot the bomb, though. And the trade starts to come in. We leave ourselves now in a 1-on-2. Lucky around this backline area. That bomb still needs to be recovered, Scriv. With only 16 seconds remaining. Is this actually possible to run it on towards A? 10 seconds now. It looks like he's just about going to have the plant here. He's going to stick it behind the box. With a couple seconds to spare. Lucky already close in towards the CT area. Kylar is kind of one-waying around the smoke. He's in towards the cubby. It's a nice position and a massively important round of 4K for Kylar. Not Kevlar. Gets it over the line, and if they do manage to run this to even close to a doable scoreline, this round played a massive role. Huge one from the Polish player.
Massive stuff. Seems to be the only player at the moment that looks good. You know, he's battling with some of the top fraggers on the
as many
Double Pony
kills
side
as
of
the rest
things.
of his team combined.
Yes. Might even... Well, you're the maths guy. I'll take your word for it. Nonetheless, yeah, he's got 1 more, doesn't he? Now that Rarlan has chimed in, of course, it's exactly even. Ooh, great flash comes in. Jocko going to get the double, and, well, the dreams of the 11-4 might just have died with that double spray down. Will go down to Snatchy. However, 16 HP with the flank coming in. His days were numbered. Had to take some fights. Couldn't get it done. Double Pony straight back in with 12.
Yes, indeed. Very dominant scoreline, and, of course, here on the broadcast, we try to push the underdog story, push the potential for the comeback, but it feels like just as Anonymo was starting to get a little bit of purchase, stopped right in their tracks and only have 2 rounds to their name right. Now, the 4 spy, of course, final round of the half. No surprises there from Anonymo, but considering they've been struggling on the rifles, it's not looking too pretty. And I'll tell you what, Scriv, They need to give Kylar that AK. He has to be the one with the gun here. He's the only one performing individually.
I don't know. I think, you know, we've talked about this before where CT sides can perhaps be a little easier to just slot people in, quote unquote. But from what we've seen, it's just not really promising in terms of the core fundamentals. And Double Pony, I don't think, are a team that you're going to be able to pull a fast one like that on. They will keep things together. They know that this can actually be quite an important game because as the season goes on, Anonymo will definitely improve past this. That I am sure of. And genuinely, with the way that things have been the past few seasons for the Polish teams, be one of the contenders to win the thing. So they know that they need to be picking up this victory. It's a pretty important one, and you kind of have to kick them while they're down, perhaps, in this sort of a scenario. And that continues to be the case. The running theme, I suppose, for this first half. Double Pony getting aggressive. They've got the weaker weapons. Catch them while they're trying to gain some basic control of the B area. And once again, have the opening man advantage.
Still plenty of nades here for the Anonymo squad. Lining up a pop flash there for B. Is the Anonymo player. Innocent, that is. Going to throw that one in a few seconds. They've re-smoked Cheetah. Molly Catwalk flashing over, so it's a really late B take, but with these cubbies that these CTs can duck into, it's so hard to clear them out. They're doing a lot of damage, but no frags just yet. And Jocko, the fadeaway, finds no one for himself. Just Kylar remaining. What can he do here, Scriv? Only 16 seconds remaining.
Well, he's done it before. However, body will come in from the side, and that, of course, is going to be at the 13-2 comes through. Simple stuff for Double Pony, it looks like. Of course, we'll be back in a few moments' time with the second half. Might be short-lived, but we'll see you there.
Let's take it round the world and back again. Ready, let's go. 'Cause you know, like I know, we'll take it round and round again.
All right, welcome back in. Like I said, it was going to be quick, so I hope you know, you've not dashed off anywhere, because we are back with the second half pistol. Double Pony don't need to do an awful lot. You can see that. So winning the pistol probably gives them the game.
Yes, indeed. Afro drops a smoke. This is going very popular, Scriv. You throw both the CT smoke and the donut, the connector smoke, from the same position. We're going to see more of this with the grenade changes. Snatchy, though, chiming in with two fast frags. Innocent's already here in towards Tempo. Temple finds first on the cross. Two now remaining for the Double Pony squad. Now it's just Afro. P250 in hand. He's around the back of the bomb site, and Ralen comes in from Donuts, peeks out, and gets the frag. So, of course, we're still a long way from evened up. Nice to see some life out of the Anonymo players.
Yes, absolutely. And I think goes without saying, every single round here, every single step needs to go their way. And that one, it looked pretty good, in all honesty. A nice bit of individual turn-up as well. A few multi-frag moments. Will be a mid-rush. Very, very popular at the moment, actually, this one. Just throwing it away. Getting it done quickly. Maybe you find a kill or two, and that can be quite nice. Getting those AKs out nice and fast for the Double Pony side. So, Anonymo, no real breathing room to work with, in all honesty. Really going to be difficult for them. They have to keep things together from the get-go, you know? No mistakes from here on in for quite some time, I think it goes, without saying once again. So, we'll see. We'll see. It's, you know, new half, new me, but you kind of feel with this kind of a scoreline, the inevitable mistakes will come in.
Yeah, indeed, but you can also take the angle that we're playing a best of three here. Anonymo, if they can just get some gun rounds under their belt, that'd be a great result. Fast B coming out on the flashbang. Snatchy still in towards long, and he's a real thorn in the side of these Double Pony players. They lose two immediately. They've seen the bomb as well. It's not going to help, and so stalled out now. A Double Pony, his body's trying to make a play. He's going to get dropped by Ralen. So only two remaining now. They're pinned in towards the B side of the map. Anonymo even getting pretty individually aggressive. Snatchy finds a nice shot. So Afro, he's not going to be long for this world. It's going to be 5 for Anonymo and an eco in the next for Double Pony. So slowly but surely feeling like a little bit more of a competitive game.
Getting there. Certainly getting there. Double Pony, I think, like I said, they're going to realize that you don't want to let a map in a game like this drop away, but at the same time, they might be one of the teams, I would say, that can let their confidence maybe get the best of them when they're so far ahead. But you do have a lot of room to just kind of, okay, let's call something very basic, see what happens. Maybe you don't want to go super deep into the strat book as yet, but perhaps they will have to, because Anonymo, I don't think, going to roll over quietly, it looks like. Afro will get the trade there. Ooh, should get taken down here. Innocent's got to be careful. A lot of bullets expended will indeed get it done. Snatchy lands the first and the second on the USB. So things are looking good mechanically. They are warming up a little more. Obviously finding the rounds, but it's still 13-6 for goodness sake.
Yeah, indeed. But nice, if for nothing else, to see Snatchy warming up. So far, it's looking like, at least on Ancient, they've opted for Snatchy to be the AWPer. Snacks back on the rifle. And it's a nice change. I think it was always kind of, it wasn't a long-term solution having Snacks as a primary AWPer. He plays better in these hybrid spots where he can drop onto it. So we'll see how it plays out later on in the series. Maybe be a little bit different on some of the other maps, but I'm liking what I'm seeing in that sense so far. So mid nades coming out from Body. He's trying to sell some presence. Clearly the bomb. That's over towards A, and Innocent is the only man to lock the site down. He's playing out the front of Donut in this off angle by the sign. That's a nice first frag, and now he's going to fall back and stay alive.
Trying to get aggressive, not going to work for him. 4-on-4 comes back in pretty quickly. Bomb, seriously, has yet to be planted, and the smokes are beginning to dissipate. Flank comes through. Body gets caught. Bomb's still not down. And they've been split off. There's just Lucky remaining now, coming in with a bit of a flank, but it's Innocent to find the final 2 kills. So certainly curious there. It looked like they very quickly had regained control of the round, at the very least to make it competitive, but just sort of stood still and, yeah, let Anonymo flank them out.
Certainly felt like they had a good opportunity once Snatchy was taken down. Maybe a little bit overeager from the Polish AWPer, but as you said, they got stalled out, and again, that A bomb site, if you don't have map control, is just a nightmare to play on. So, looking at the money for Double Pony, it's going to be the half buy this time around. No surprises, see some pauses starting to come out, because this might feel like a massive lead, but how many gun rounds are we looking at? Four gun rounds or so for Anonymo to close up this game. So it's not out of the question. They still got some breathing room, but you can't waste these opportunities, as you said. And half buy does come in, so we're really looking at the next gun round, but nevertheless, some economic damage and even a confidence boost here would be much appreciated.
Well, see what they opt to go for. Oh, I think eating grenades was perhaps not the plan. Getting in pretty quickly, though. Nice little flash. It's kind of obvious. Snatchy able to dip back in. Afro does need to be careful, but he wants to push in. They want to pull something off here. Nearly the catch on the backside there onto Rarlan. Follow-up attempt here from Afro. He's pretty low. Easy finish off. And the backup from Innocent, of course, is solid. Not a single kill coming in. There's Anonymo very quickly, actually, moving up to 8. This is 5 in a row now. Double Pony giving them a lot of speed and momentum. Still looking towards, map 2, as you mentioned, but it is starting to actually become worrying for this game.
Yeah, indeed. And looking at the CT money and how it's building up, if you want to frame this game in a different light, Double Pony still need to win 3 gun rounds to get this game over the line. It's going to be gun rounds with this amount of money building up on the Anonymo side. It's going to be very, very tricky, but that's the perfect start. Fast mid control and Body. The flashes are just perfect. These players get caught out in the open. They're dabbing. And now they are dead. 3 opening picks for Body. The bomb is over towards B, and no Anonymo players are there. And if you wanted a response to how this half had started, that was it. And what a round from the in-game leader so far.
Well, we'll see. Body does get taken out eventually. But this is indeed the issue, what we've been talking about quite a bit, and it is that underlying pressure that Anonymo are going to have as soon as one individual decides to have a moment or they make a mistake themselves. The House of Cards just comes crumbling down. They've not even really finished building it yet, to be honest. So 14 going to be landed. Not quite as bad as going from 14 to 15 when you're on the comeback. But still, Double Pony proving to themselves that they can do it. It's not going to be worst case scenario, and it should continue to go in their favor. Now, there's a lot of money for Anonymo, so they'll be fine buy-wise. That's actually a curious part for Double Pony. They're not going to lose, overextend, I think, in this round itself, but in future rounds, they need to be careful when it comes to the cash build-up.
Yeah, super important, actually, that they keep these guns alive. They can't afford to let Anonymo have any easy rounds. Every eco makes their comeback all the more doable. Anyway, Body, huge round from him. Much needed, considering how the momentum of the half had kicked off. Just the fast mid control coming out. Here we're going to see it. Flash comes over from Jocko just for Body to swing out on. That wipes up these players out of the front window. They can't see anything, and an easy time overall for Body. So nice frags, but utility for me was the real winner on that occasion.
Pause coming in, naturally, one would assume for the Anonymo side of things would make sense. It is definitely a timeout with the length of it. That one I know for sure. Either way, Double Pony staring down the barrel of the victory of their opponent's map pick in quite decisive fashion. I think these days, if you're not hitting double digits on a map, then it can be considered pretty decisive, what with the way the economy swings back and forth and back and forth. Especially when it's your own map pick. If you are going to lose it, you kind of want to do it in style with a little bit of grace. At the moment, Anonymo have anything but. They, pick up 2 rounds in the first half, and then into the second, it becomes a very, very scary looking, I think winning the pistol and getting the momentum there, as we said, Double Pony were playing things very, very instinctively, it felt like, rather than pulling out their best strats, let's say. And now they've gone a little deeper in, and it started to work better for them.
Four and 5 then, Anonymo. Ernest is on them now to make an information play, and that's what Snatchy was going for. He gets punished. Now a very, very tricky spot. Innocent is close to this smoke. Exercise is going to come through. Obvious advantage there as the play comes through the smoke, and Innocent, he does capitalize. Snacks now. Ever on the lurk, and he catches Afra at the worst possible time, and Double Pony, they're letting this slip away. Body has found a nice timing though. He's all the way out in towards CT. He's clearing this temple position. Innocent, recognizing they've lost a lot of mid control, he's pushed in towards that A tunnels area. So kind of getting penned in now are the T side. Snacks closing towards CT. Innocent peeks out at the perfect time as well. Drops the first player. Snacks rotating in. Finds another important trade from Body. 1-on-1 now. Bomb in hand. 9 seconds. He has to plant, obviously, on this A bomb site. Kylar is already facing. His Body peeks out. Spots him with the shoulder. And peeks out on the molly. A massive 1-on-1 there from Body. And, he's had a very, very impactful last few rounds. This could be a very close game had Body not been in fine form.
Absolutely magical stuff. As the in-game leader, you mentioned it when he got that 3K. Another one here. Really, really doing well, leading from the front. Always a fan of that, and quite substantially so. 24-12 is pretty incredible. A 50% success rate is quite high on your fights. That's not it, is it? You do maths. That's not right. Would it be 150% success rate? Because he's doubling his 24 and 12. Yeah.
No. I don't think you'll be above 100.
Okay. I don't know. I've dug myself into a ditch. Quite substantially so. He's fragging really well. His aim is good tonight. A lot of multi-frag rounds. That one I know for sure. Oh. Lucky, unfortunately, not quite as successful as he will get taken down by Snacks. The wall bang from Afro, though. Ridiculous stuff. We've seen quite a few nice ones on Ancient over the past few days. That one, not mental, but the fact that you follow the traces, you've only got one attempt at it, right? And he lands it. So back into a 4-on-4. Great flash in towards Cube. Innocent. Staying silent. Will pay off for the first. And the game and the table somewhat turned. Very well played, though, as he knows there's another player there. Meanwhile, a kill picked up by the AWP of Snatchy. So just the one player in the form of Afro. Out with the AWP. Can't get it done. As Anonymo find number 9.
Yes, indeed. And Anonymo looking revitalized, whilst on the other side of the coin, this T side has looked not perfect from Double Pony, and of course relying on some individual brilliance to pick up their sole 2 rounds so far. And it makes me dwell on that first half from Anonymo. If they just found a couple more rounds, how this could have been such a different game. Half by coming out from Double Pony there is going to get aggressive on the pistols, starting to respect the Molotov. They're not going to go out behind it. Snacks could hit a dunk of a nade here. Look at the damage. It's beautiful. Smoke as well to delay those T players. And it might just be the pistols, but it seems extremely unlikely. They're only going to get too much done here. Rallen enjoying the eco frags so far. Nice and easy time for him. Not too much to say about this one. Players falling left, right, and center. Just 2 remaining. Very clean round from Anonymo. Not a huge deal to bank up the cash, as somehow they've given up 2 frags immediately. Pushing out now is Snatch. You can't quite see the player on the angle. Nice flick again. He loves the wall bangs through this kind of construction area out the front of Cheetah. And now it's just Lucky remaining. He has recovered an M4. So maybe a little bit of an opportunity here, but looks most unlikely he's going to get too much done. Still pinned in from 3 angles. Can't move anywhere. Gets spotted up by Kyler. Does do a lot of damage. So it seems round is still set to continue. Snatchy's just posted up on the angle, and surely this is the end. Indeed it is. Snatchy finds his third. 10 rounds for Anonymo. It still feels like a stretch to get this one all the way to overtime, but at least they're making a game of this one, and that alone is a good silver lining considering how dominant that first half was from Double Pony.
Certainly what we want a little more of, I think, is indeed making things competitive. Give me a couple more. Maybe you start to think in the back of your mind that it could be doable for Anonymo. Those emotions, of course, very dangerous for them to deal with. Great flash from Snacks. Absolutely wonderful timing on that. Double kill for him. Completely unscathed. Continues to do damage as he gets a nade through there as well. So Anonymo off to a great start in round number 26. Or an even better one as Ancient finds another kill onto the Danger Man.
Jocko and Exercise then, trying to work their way up, at least find an opportunity, and there are none for them. 11 rounds on the board now for Anonymo. A pretty stark turnaround considering just how disappointing they looked on that T side. Snacks, as you mentioned, that flash working wonders. 2 fast frags for him. Half by again from Double Pony, so realistically, it's only going to be a couple of gun rounds over time. Not looking oh so far away. Rallen traded out in towards mid. Now it's only Innocent left on this side of the map. The fast split is coming in from the donut and the tunnels position. Innocent getting called upon now to do a lot of work. First frag goes his way. The rotates now just about coming in. And Innocent is an absolute bastion on this bomb site at the moment. There's a player in, not close. Interesting. Snatchy starting to show off a little bit now. Just enjoying himself. Afro. He gets the knife kill. I don't think it's going to come to much, Squiv. It is good fun. but he's just so trapped in towards this corner. Surely, as he peeks out, he's going to fall. So Anonymo, they make it 12, and some good antics there on the A-bomb site.
I think that's what Body was trying to do. So it's even, more insult to the injury that, of course, Snatchy spins around, maybe hears a footstep at the last second kind of thing, and does deny Body. But then, of course, you get another one coming in from Afro in the end. So we do have a little bit of a pause here. It's actually technical in nature, but seems like they're live on the server, so shouldn't be too long here for us on the relay. Obviously, you want to make sure everything's good and proper here, and I think at this point, if you're not intentionally taking a timeout, it's a little awkward to have to go for one, because Anonymo, they've got everything in their favor. They don't really want to give any breathing room, any downtime, any thinking time to that double pony side.
Exercise then. He's lining up those fast mid grenades. First was a molly out of the kind of connect to the donut area, and second smoke just behind that one. And again, they're getting these opening picks on towards mid. Body, of course, early on in the half, he had a lot of success out of that mid position aggressively. But Anonymo, they know the tricks. They know how it works. Have a nice timings to get the nades down, and the spams are working wonders. In terms of finding them aggressive entries, double pony already a man down. On a very pivotal round. They're running out of breathing room here as Anonymo close the gap. Step by step. Flashes coming out. They're going to take some cheater control. In response, Anonymo, a bit of an information play on towards Banana. A few shots exchanged, but no frags just yet. As the bomb is still here on B, but look at the flank scriv. Look at Innocent. He's going to come from behind, and this could be a disaster here for Double Pony. They're getting mowed down.
Yep, and Rollin in with the triple. Innocent was on the longer flank. Will indeed get a kill, but unfortunately not as needed, not as massive an impact as he could have had. Doesn't really matter though, does it? Because we're up to 13 on the Anonymo side. Starting to see some of those things that you talked about, and I guess that we talked about, right? The CT end looking a hell of a lot better, much better put together. I would say, for me, in modern Polish Counter-Strike, their CT sides are where they have a lot of their strength. Especially on the AGO side of things, right? Which is where your new boys come from. Rollin definitely picked it up. I think there was a time where he was like 1-13. Hold the point, though, because we've got Snatchy in on this B-bomb site, seemingly unkillable. Okay. Not fully through the smoke. I think it was just dissipated enough that the game doesn't recognize it through the smoke. Nonetheless, absolutely mental round. The fact that he doesn't go down, it looks like, they went for a fast one on the pistols. Finds the first while blind, gets his 5-7 out, and they're not able to finish him. Yeah, and I mean, he didn't see that player, right? But like I say, I think it's far enough dissipated that CS doesn't quite recognize. 15-14. Double Pony with the throwaway in the previous. We'll have to see here whether they can finally crack the nut, so to speak. I thought 14-8. You get in there early enough, you thwart the Anonymo chances, that's got to be it. But of course, the caster's curse, extending its way out here, and overtime on the cards.
Yeah, indeed. Who would have thought it? I believe it was a 13-2 half, wasn't it, from Double Pony? They've only found 2 rounds so far in the second half. Anonymo, despite staring down the barrel of a massive comeback, have made it work. And Double Pony struggling to find really any openings here on this T side. And Afro's side, I'm going to get aggressive. He's already out A. The rotates are starting to come in, but with Innocent so far committed here in towards Donuts, they're going to gain so much ground before they're even going to get spotted. Only now is Snatchy posted up on towards the angle. He's in towards CT spawn. He can spot the cross. Smokes are starting to land though for Donut, and the temple position is Snatchy still on the angle. He finds the first. The flash is starting to rain in, but Snatchy's doing so much work. 2 frags go his way. There's still 3 players on the bomb sites. These smokes are going to start to fade. Scrib, it's going to be so difficult now. We talk about this all the time on this A bomb. So if you don't get the bomb planted before these fade, you can be in so much trouble. Now Lucky's pinned on leave. That means they did pull out the T side after plant. As I'm not going to lie, that was probably one of the more frustrating ones because
Yeah.
that felt like it was going to be on a knife edge.
If we finished 16-4 or whatever, then yeah, whatever, who cares? But it is a bit annoying. We do apologize about that. I think, you know, on our end, it's also just as frustrating to not get the end of that game because it was quite an exciting one, the way that it had turned around. Commiserations, I suppose, to Anonymo there, losing their own map pick in such a fashion. But it does shape up well. Our next map, Inferno, the pick of Double Pony, relatively with, you know, the previous 5-man, pretty comfortable for the Anonymo side. So we'll have to see, of course, whether they can keep it together. However, from us, going to be it for a little while. We'll be back after this short break with map number 2.